Good evening, traders. It is Tuesday, September 19th, and welcome to another PATsScalper daily chart review. I had a great day today with 5 wins and 0 losses, and hopefully you all had a winning day as well. Overall, today was pretty choppy. There were a few ranges and a few larger trends, but for the most part, you can see down here a lot of overlapping stacked bars. You really had to be patient today. I used the 2000 tick chart to allow me to view the raw price movement rather than using a candlestick time chart as well as a volume chart. I can use a tick chart, which includes that volume, a larger bar that paints and opens and closes quicker with few wicks. Really gives me good indication that buyers have really entered aggressively and moved price up. And that's where us as scalpers who go for 4 ticks, we look for that movement, we look for that momentum, we want to join with that momentum, get in, make a profit, get out with 4 ticks, and be happy with that. For an example, let's look at our strategy. We have this large bear leg right here. And what is a leg and what is a strong leg that I call out all the time? Well, a leg is just a price movement, in this case a bearish movement, in one single direction. And you can see it's shorts came in up here, they kept price down right at EMA, and then bam, it slammed right back down. And then again, that's where I call it a strong leg, because you see these very strong, these very full body bars that really indicate there's aggressive sellers pushing this price down. And then we look for 2 rejections of that attempt. If you think of as a short, I join up here. I want to make as much money as I can, and I want price to go even further than here, or as a long, maybe I enter down here. I want price to go all the way up here. And the first attempt I will hold and maybe take some money off the table up here, and then if it pushes the new extreme, I'm happy. Price is continuing to move down. I'm going to hold, maybe sell some more, and that's where we look for that second rejection. We don't want a bottom pick. We don't want a top pick. We don't want to look at this first rejection, because let's just say you see the strong rejection, price just stopped after this very strong bear leg. Good bull bar here. Price is, kind of just again stopped right at this price level here. Let's just say you entered here. Well, it'd tick up, get you trapped in, shoot right back down, stop you out, and again, you don't want to pick these bottoms. You don't want to pick tops as well. So that's where we look for that second rejection. So this made the new extreme. We've got the first attempt to go lower, which then failed from this bullish leg, and then we get a second attempt to that low. It does, and this is where I entered. It does stop out. Let me delete these so it's easier to see now. It does stop out where these longs entered. They most likely at this double bottom would have put their stops here, and that's what I look for. When this ticks through, I don't immediately go in. I wait for a bar to close that is, in this case, bottom range. I'm looking for a bullish bar. I want to buy low, sell high. And this ticked through, and when it ticks through, again, you assume stops are here, and if I'm long and I get stopped out, well, I have to sell to close. And if I've got this strong bearish momentum, these aggressive sellers entering the market, and then it supposedly hit these stops here, and those longs who are now having to sell and close, that they should join that momentum, and that means price should go way lower. In this case, it went 1, 2 ticks, ticked right back up, and that gives me a good indication that, hey, there's still buyers down here, price still held, and once this closed with this nice bullish bar, low risk, I took it, we're bottom of the range, got my scalp out, solid trade. And then we get this chop, 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 throws right down, new extreme, no, kind of second attempt to go lower, just shot right back up, and, that's where we don't get in just because it's going quick. We don't want to FOMO, we don't want to overtrade, we wait for these solid setups. So that's our strategy. As far as these arrows go, a green arrow marks a trade that I took that was successful. A cyan arrow is a trade that I broke even on. A red arrow is a trade I was stopped out on. And a yellow arrow is a trade that fits our overall strategy, but initially didn't meet the entry rules. So let's dig right in. As I always say, I don't trade pre-market, so I just, I draw my trend lines. I use it to identify some possible price movements as the market opens, but I don't, again, trade it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So really, until 9:30, I'm just watching this. So, okay, trend line here, break, and then really just chop. Nothing really to go on in here. It's just all some dojis, some hammers, then inverse hammers, and hammers, and inverse hammers. And then, you start seeing these solid legs, and that's what we look for. We don't want to trade in here. Yeah, we're only going for 4 ticks. We are only scalpers. But a lot of times when you jump in on these like bars, they might look good, but sometimes they're traps. Like let's just say you go in this T-bar. Maybe you get your 4 ticks, maybe you don't get filled, and then shoots right down, hits your stop, and then shoots right back up. So that's where, again, you want to be patient, be disciplined, follow the strategy, and it will pay off in the long run. So again, chop, 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 chop. This was a failed engulfing, so this bar closed, and then this bar as it opened, ticked down, then went bullish engulfing. So it, the wick was all the way down here, went all the way up, got the bulls who think, hey, this is a solid trade. I'm right at EMA. I had the strong push, and I wait for that. I don't think that. First of all, you're kind of there's not much space to this trend line, even though it's not drawn yet. But we're looking to buy low, sell high, and that right here where it's all chop. So I would have stayed out of all of this until I saw this failed engulfing. And again, I take these contexts, independent. If it price moves quick, I will take it. So what happened is again this bar formed. Then this bar is opened, ticked down, went bullish to engulf this bar, and then it started to kind of come back and it closes its doji. And then price really just rocketed down. I short here because, as a person who enters engulfing bars, everyone says to put your stop right at where that wick was, and then that's what we play on. So we're hoping that these stops tick through, and then because of the momentum of already bringing price down, again, those longs who went on the bullish engulfing now get stopped out. They have to sell the close, and that's what we look for those 4 ticks. Got my 4 ticks, and great trade overall. I take these all the time. So again, just kept pushing down. We do have this solid bar here, but this pushed a little bit too much, in my opinion. If it goes 1 tick, 2 ticks, and then it closes bullish, that's a good indicator there's still bulls in this area. But this went down pretty significantly. So I don't, you don't want to count stuff like this, as well as you're kind of close to the EMA. The further you are away from the EMA, the better the chance the trade will go in your direction. Again, we want to buy low, sell high. The EMA acts as a price magnet, and that's what we want to trade on. So really no good setups. Solid bear leg here, just kept going on, and then you see this again price, and this is exactly what I explained with the strategy. Let me just expand these a little bit better. Hit this new extreme, 1 leg rejection, 2 legs, and then, like I said, these stops are at this purple line. When they get hit and price doesn't go anywhere, that's where you again want to have that in the back of your mind. Okay, like, where did they go? And if the price didn't go lower, then most likely they're still around. You wait for that good bar. This could end up as a bad bar, and you stay out. But if you get this solid body, full body bull bar, I'm going to take this. We're bottom of the range. Great trade, worked out. And yeah, chopped in the end, but we got a trade. So solid trade here. I'll take this all the time. And again, shot right down, shot right up. You do have 1, 2, and that's kind of where I took this. Is I didn't take. You do have this in what I'm calling all the time. You do have the stops here. So as this goes lower, all the bears are probably thinking, hey, I'll put my stop up here. This is up the top. I'm going to keep it up here. And then it ticks through it. But again, you don't want to enter it away. First of all, this is an inside bar. It ticks through. There's not much room to this swing low. And this is an inside bar as it forms. And you can see if you took that, you wouldn't have made your 4 ticks. You probably would have been stopped out. And then you would have been early to the entry that I took. That was the better entry. Again, inside bar, crap bar. And what I took was, you see this failure again. So this stop gets ticked. Price still stays. Not necessarily good bars. But I'm still, thinking, okay, there's probably sellers here. Price hasn't gone all the way up here. We then get this hammer, which double top here shows me again, there's still sellers here. Yes, there are aggressive buyers, but sellers still held this line. And then you get this tick through, back down to this good bear body bar, plenty of room to the lows, low risk, 5 tick bar, 6 tick risk. Take this all day. And again, wait for this to close. If this, went all the way down and maybe engulfed this, probably wouldn't have taken it. But because this is a low risk, closed bearish, we know that there's still sellers around, because if you don't wait for this to close, this could engulf through and then continue the leg up, trap you out, stop you out, and that was a bad trade. So when you look for a re-entry once these stop areas are hit, you want to wait for that bar to close. This closed a good bear bar, took it, shot right down, solid trade. Again, just price just kept moving down. No good entries. Decent rejection here, but and that's why I wanted to call this out is you don't really get much opportunity here. By the time you, first of all, you don't want to really go long on this bear body, even though Bryce did kind of hold this. Yeah, it did work, but again, you kind of want to have that confirmation. And again, up here, this range wasn't drawn by this time, but this is just a first entry. You do maybe have this mini leg, but I don't count these. I would count this as one solid bull leg, and then again, you're shorting on a inverse bull hammer. Right? You don't want to do that. This could totally trap and shoot you up and whatnot. So don't take stuff like that. Again, you want to make sure that you have confirmation, and you want to go, enter long with a bull bar and enter short with a bear bar. So this is obviously a bear bar. You don't want to go long. And then you do get your second attempt down. It does hold, and it does tick this stop down, and that's where I was maybe looking for an entry. But then there's no good bars. If you took this, the swing highs up here, and you can see, you get 2 ticks, and then you get stopped out. So that's where this just really started to chop. You want to stay out of stuff like this. There was no good entries. This one, I was kind of tempted on, but I wanted it to tick below these 3 levels of stops, not just this, this kind of triple bar stacked area right here. This could have, this range, this mini range, started from a bear leg here, and when ranges start from a bear leg, they're most likely going to break out bearish again. So that's where I didn't really trust this. Yes, it is a low risk. Yes, it would have worked, but it is mid range. And I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of this. Again, I kind of wanted this area to be tested, not just this area. And that's fine, right? Like, you want to be patient. It's fine missing trades. You want to make sure when you're taking those trades, you're confident in those. And I just wasn't confident in this. Again, solid bull leg up here. And then you see these stops start to get triggered through. So you've got these tops here. And that's where I took this, is you've kind of got these stacked up. You do have a solid bear rejection here, top of range, so I'm still thinking this range started from this bear leg. So I've still got a bearish bias. I don't really trust this as a full, breakout pullback yet. So that's where I took this short, again, because these tops, 1, 2, 3, 4 tops, let me zoom in a little bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4 tops, all these shorts that are entering here are keeping their stops up here. And when this ticks through and closes bearish, price didn't go anywhere, I'm going to take this because this is, first of all, again, a low risk 4-tick bar, 5-tick risk, plenty of room to the lows. I'm way ahead of this, the top of this range. I'm above EMA. I'm going to take this all the time with this low risk. And again, you see the stops that were supposed to be there, and if they were ticked through, this maybe would have been a doji, or this maybe would have gone up here even more. And because this went all the way back down, solid, bear body, little wick compared to the tops up here, solid trade. I'm going to take this all the time. You've got this bearish leg here, but then it really just gets choppy at the bottom here. You do hit this stop area, but again, there's really no good low risk closed bull bar. This, yeah, you maybe call that, but I don't really like taking trendline trades. I kind of wanted this to fail. Again, this is really just choppy stack bars. I kind of just stay out of stuff like this. You get a bull push here, and then somewhat of a rejection. Again, I didn't like taking this because by the time this closes, first of all, your lower range, and yes, it takes the double bottom and eventually works because this was a trap. But again, you want to buy low and sell high, and in this case, you're selling right at the bottom of the range. You don't want to do that. Yeah, you do have the double top here. But even if you were to take this engulfing, this is a double bottom. You don't have the space. This could tick right to the support, shoot right back up, trap you out, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. And it didn't work out. I didn't take it, but that's where stuff like this you just want to avoid. Maybe if this like ticked up and then gave me a good opportunity because this maybe was the stop area and it got closed bearish and low risk, and yeah, but again that didn't happen, and I don't like taking stuff like this. There's just no room. You get this new bear leg to a new extreme, one rejection, then new extreme, so there's really no opportunity to enter here. This just ticked too far down to consider it as, yes, stops held. And then there's no second rejection, so this really just shot right up. Again, there's not really many opportunities here. You do have this technical rejection. It does tick lower, but that's where I want to look at the solid move. And you do have, and I was looking at this to go short, you do have this stop from this double top hit, but when this closes, first of all, there's no entry because you want to have this close and then enter, and that's kind of a good, I guess, example of what I'm trying to preach of not to do. Is, let's just say this closes and then you get this double top and this engulfed bearish, and you think, hey, these stops were hit. I don't need to wait for the bar to close. I know that this is a double top and I can see it engulfing bearish. I'm going to take that. Well, if you did, it would have gotten 2 ticks. Bulls would have held, shot right up, get you stopped out. And if you were patient to wait for this to close, like I was, there would be no opportunity to enter because the bulls just pushed it right back up, and it saves you for stuff like that. So nothing to do here, just dojis. You get a good rejection here, but then again, just a straight new extreme. You want this tick for the stops to hold, tick through it, but then hold roughly in a few ticks from that. This is, this got a, 6 tick, 7 tick new extreme. Once you see this, don't play that as like, hey, stops are holding, because again, you don't get your 4 ticks, even though you enter here and you get stopped out, and then price just keeps pushing. You want to be patient, be disciplined, be confident in that confirmation, and then enter. And there's no confidence here. You do have this good bear bar for this bull leg rejection, but in this range wasn't drawn yet. But again, if you were to short here, there's not much room to the swing low. And by the time this closes, I didn't like this wick. If this was maybe a double top or an engulfing bear, I probably would have risked it. It is a low risk, but I didn't like this wick. When you're looking for tops and then where to enter, you want to kind of make sure again that like there's not many buyers here, and there was wicks. So in this case, sellers pushed down, but then the buyers came in and made this this hammer top. So if this bar came in, was the double top and then slammed down, I probably would have taken that. But I don't like taking stuff like this. Again, these bars are relative to this move very small, and you want to see big, stuff like this, as far as the rejection goes, relative to a leg like this, not just these small bars. So I stayed out. You maybe got your 4 ticks, but maybe you didn't, and you didn't get your fill because it was too quick and shot right up. So nothing here. Again, just chop, chop, chop. You do have this stop line again. I call them all the time that maybe was hit, but then when this closed, there's not much. You do have your double bottom, but then this closes a doji. That's what I'm saying. Like when stops are hit, you want to let that bull body, in this case I'm looking long, to close and let me know, are the bulls still around. This closed doji, that's fighting between buyers and sellers. That's indecision. I don't want to take that. Yes, it worked, but again, you're also kind of mid-range by the time you enter, so I just stay out of stuff like that. You do get one bull leg rejection, second attempt, and then you get rejection, but there's no, again, good opportunity here, because by the time this engulfs bullish, first of all, I was waiting for this to fail. This was a potential engulfing failure, which I call out all the time in Discord. I wanted this to tick lower, which it did, tick all the way up for bullish. Get all the bulls in up here. Hey, it's the trend line, and I was waiting for that trap. Didn't work, but again, that's where I just sat out, and then shoots down. Again, didn't work, but that's where I don't like taking stuff like this. First of all, you don't have enough room to this double top here. Yeah, it worked, but you can even see if we zoom in, this bar held at this double top until this bar came in. So you might be sweating, and again, you want to make sure when you enter on an engulfing, on really any and all entries, that there's plenty of room to get in and out. We're scalpers. In this case, you've got this double top, which could have acted as support, kind of did here, didn't hold, but you get the point. Again, new extreme. I was hoping for maybe a better setup here. Is you've got your breakout pullback, but really just shot right back down. This is where I took this one, and 2 in hindsight, because I just was successful in this. I didn't want to be too greedy. I stayed out of this one, but a good trade meets all of our setup criteria. So we've got our strong bear leg here, and then you can see price just stops. So we've got our yes T bar, but it only ticked one lower, and then you can see the strong bull leg, two strong full body bull bars, and then a rejection. And then again, I look for the stop to be hit, this stop line right here, and then I want to see what price does. So I wait, and it closed as this bullish, low risk, 6 tick bar, plenty of room, bottom of range hammer, and I didn't take it right away because I wanted a little bit more of a full body. So I let this bar close, and once I saw this, I put a limit order right where I would have entered anyway. I was confident, and then this bar shot it right up, got my fill. Even if I, didn't get that fill, I would have eventually got it. And that's where for this second trade, probably the better trade of the two. But this again does follow our setup. So wait for this bar to close. We know now it's bullish. We know there's still bulls around the area. I was a little bit more patient and I entered late on this bar. Still worked out for me. And that's where sometimes if you aren't sure, wait for that extra confirmation. And this setup again, like I think is the better setup in hindsight. You have this strong bear bar, but then again, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't tick through these stops, so we know sellers are still around. And then you get this double bottom bullish engulfing. I would have taken that. I was really tempted, but again, I didn't want to be too greedy. I just got profit here, and then it takes you right up. Solid trade here, but again, didn't take it. It's yellow, but I wanted to highlight it in the fact that worth taking. Again, here, if you were to take this, just no room. You do have one rejection, two rejections, and this is an okay bar, inside bar. I don't like those, but it is a solid bull body, but just no space. So I was kind of waiting for this to fail. Kind of come back here, but didn't work. Again, you want to make sure there's space. You want to again make sure there's almost some support down here to validate that you're with the bulls, with the buyers to move price up. Yeah, it worked. And again, hindsight's great, but you want to make sure you're patient. So I don't take stuff like this. Just again, no room to these highs here, and then one rejection here, and then another attempt to go lower. You do have the stops hit, but this was end of day. 5 minutes left in the market. I wasn't a huge fan of this. It worked, but these dojis were kind of just keeping me out. If this was like a solid bull bar, letting me know like buyers came in right here, really pushed price up, good rejection, and then another bull body closure, probably would have taken that. But just because of this T-bar, these dojis, I wasn't really confident that there were buyers around this area, even though this did close nicely after the stops. You can see, you would have gotten your scalp, and that's why we go for 4 ticks. You could be wrong with the context, but we're not being greedy. We're only going for 4 ticks, so you get the small move, and sometimes it'll work. I didn't take this. Again, end of day, wasn't a perfect setup, and then price just shot back down. So that's the end of it. I hope you all had a successful day like I did. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow.